lies, indecent acts of exposure, and a ghost town con? Now these are allegations that have been brought up by TikTok and many guests. There is a lot of controversy surrounding Anime Nation, but what is the tea and who are the victims? Well, from the intel that I've gathered from TikTok, it seems that this event was another dead con with a lot of weird small stuff going on in the background. However, that's nothing new, right? We've seen this previously before. Well, there's about 3 peculiar things that I think we have to discuss now because it's been happening a lot now. And before I present the victims and the reality of the situation, there is one piece of evidence that you guys have to hear at the end of this video. So if you guys don't want to hear about these little 3 peculiar things, skip towards the end, because this piece of evidence is something that people are completely overlooking that happened this weekend. Anyways, let's start off with the first peculiar thing that I found. The organizers' estimations. According to Clover the artist, who was a vendor at the event, they were promised about 25,000 attendees to attend this event. Now that is a lot of people, which is a pretty good number to people show up. But looking at these clips, guys, I'd be surprised if they even hit 1,000 attendees, which is a huge miscalculations. I mean, if they had like 10,000 attendees, that would have been a failed estimation, but I mean, it still would have been okay, right? But to get 1,000 attendees, that's not just a failed estimation. That's kind of like a malicious lie. Because in this estimation, guys, you cannot tell me that you forgot to carry the 1 here. Anyways, if this claim is true, then in some way it could be said that this is fraud. So if I was a vendor here, I would definitely try to get my money back. We don't know if they got this estimation before they bought their spot at the convention or after. I really don't know. If this was something that they did to try to reel people in to buy a table or a booth at this convention, then they could definitely use it in their favor if they decide to proceed with any retaliation, I guess. The second peculiar thing that I found was the risque stuff that was going on at this convention. I'm an average single man, and I'm not gonna act like I'm some type of church boy who doesn't find the lewd cosplays appealing. I mean, obviously I find them very cool and attractive, but I think that there's always a time and a place. I'm not sure where it began at anime cons, but guests and a lot of vendors have been getting way more and more sexual. Because we went from seeing cosplays, being the most lewd from Kill la Kill, which makes sense, obviously, they're cosplaying the character, to people just wearing straight up lingerie to these events. Which again, I think it's completely fine. However, some lines are being crossed at these conventions. I asked one of my followers about their experience in Anime Nation Fest, and she reported that this show was beyond inappropriate for her and her son. According to many reports, they were showing some very suggestive stuff at the main stage for a family event, which makes you wonder how far will the anime community go in terms of lewdness before the general public and event organizers start making pushback. I personally do not want to see conventions start to enforce any rules on cosplay, but I think as a community, we got to start keeping it classy, guys. This is mainly directed, obviously, to vendors and cosplayers who need to remember that most cons are all aged events, so try to use your best judgments so in the future there's no rules being enforced. The third and last peculiar thing that I want to talk about is the rise of AI art. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm starting to see the use of AI art a lot lately for promotions for anime events. For instance, this event used AI art, and so did another cash grab dance event that I recently covered. So I think from now on, whenever we see any AI art for any form of promotion, guys, I think it's safe to say that we should stay away, because it's like a 99% chance that the event's gonna be a flop. Now it's time to ask, why did Anime Nation flop? And who are its victims? I find this part very interesting because I believe people are completely overlooking why this event even flopped to begin with. And it's for 2 simple reasons. The first is its marketing. I know a lot of people want to call this event a complete cash grab and that it had an ill intent from the start. However, unlike SoCal Anime, they actually did try to market this event. They did spend money on social media and bought billboards to raise awareness for this event. So there was an obvious attempt to try to bring this event to life. However, I do know that this weird mix of hobbies did not do them any favors, as anime fans and tattoos enthusiasts are not the perfect blend to try to bring together. Our communities have much in common as a spoon and a fork. Sure, we do cross paths occasionally, but we are completely different as a whole, which made us to consumers confused about this event, as it made us wonder if this event is even for someone like us, which I know cost them a lot of potential attendees like myself who didn't feel this event was for them. Now, evidence number 2 is probably the biggest reason this event flopped, and it's something that vendors and organizers completely overlooked, and it was competition. You guys want to know just how many anime related events were held just this week? Not 4, not 6, but 9 anime events, with a huge addition of one of the biggest events in SoCal. And with this many events, you kind of have to ask, like, did anyone do their homework here, vendors or organizers alike? Because let's break down what events were being held this week so you guys get an idea how stacked this week was with events. There's about 3 big concerts being held this week. First, it was Miku Expo and Yosobi, with one of the biggest events obviously being Coachella. That's already 3 big events that people are obviously going to spend money on. There's also 3 long weekend events going on, such as the extremely popular Japan OC Fair. And this event, let me tell you guys, pretty much brings huge crowds from entire SoCal. So trying to host an event at the same week as them wasn't the smartest idea. There's also the Idol event going on at Little Akibara, and then of course this event. Then you guys can't forget the 3-day Saturday events of Sugoi Saturday, Anime Culture Experience, and the Only Girls Anime Rave going on in Santa Ana. And I don't know if you really could count this one, but I mean, people spent money on it, and it was the theatrical release of Spy Family, Code White. With that many events, you guys gotta ask, why in the world would you host an event during this time period? And also, why would you vent at a no-name event with such immense competition? To me guys, this seems like an extremely reckless gamble on both parties, because there was at least 5 events that were bound to attract all the crowds. Now I know a lot of people are complaining that this event flopped due to bad marketing. I do believe that is true, but it's mainly due to the extreme competition going on during this weekend. Because let's just say theoretically they got the marketing right. There is just no way they're going to take away any good paying clients from the Yosobi concert, Miku Expo, Coachella, and even less Japan OC, since these events are way too huge for anyone to miss. I know it may not sound like it, but I do feel bad for the vendors involved here. Hopefully in the future guys, any future vendors looking to start selling stuff, like I said in my previous video in SoCal Anime, make sure you guys do your homework and don't trust organizers, as they will always say things and promise you things just to get your money. You guys have to always be on the defensive and never assume people are looking out for your best interest. Also, another group of people that no one's talking about that I feel extremely bad for are the attendees. As you guys can see from the videos, there was literally not as many vendors as they promised, and this event looked beyond dead. It looked so boring. So you guys also deserve some recognition in this entire mess. In conclusion guys, I do theorize that Anime Nation was trying to make this event successful, since I did see them try to be active and do a lot of marketing. However, I do theorize that once they saw the horrible ticket sales, they just jumped ship and didn't even try to put on a decent show, because they knew that they're going to get super screwed if they even showed up, which resulted in the mess you guys see in these videos. But that's just a theory, an event theory. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.